Welcome to Let's Get Cooking. I am your host, Rashida, and today instead of cooking, we're going to do some baking. Today we're baking a strawberry cake, which may sound like a summer dessert, but because I have a surplus of strawberries and it's absolutely beautiful outside, I'm going to show you how to make that cake today. It is the first week of fall, and I love everything about fall. The leaves changing colors, the cool, crisp air coming in. But one thing I know for sure, no matter what day of the year it is, people love cake. So today, come on in the kitchen with me as I walk you through the steps in the process of making this yummy dessert. Who knows, maybe you'll try it out and surprise your friends and your family with something new to add to their recipe box, and even yours. Come on in, stay tuned, we're about to make some strawberry cake. Okay, so we're going to start baking this strawberry cake, and as you see, some of the ingredients will be used. Of course, the strawberries. We have some flour, sugar, eggs, and butter, and a little bit of baking powder. So as I'm going through the process, I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing and what I'm using. They're all about to go into this here mixer. Stay tuned. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add in 2 sticks of butter, softened room temperature butter. Any brand will work. And we just put the butter down into our mixer. And you can also do this with a hand mixer. It doesn't matter, just as long as you have a nice, strong, powerful hand mixer, it'll all work the same. So there are my 2 sticks of butter. And we're going to go ahead, get those mixing. And then to the butter, we're going to add our sugar. Because the basis of any cake recipe generally is a butter-sugar mixture, unless you're using vegetable oil. To which you still have to mix the sugar with the vegetable oil in some cases. But today we're using butter, 2 sticks of butter, and we're going to go ahead and pour in just your regular standard white sugar. That's 1 cup, and there goes cup number 2. Now when you're baking, you want to combine your butter and sugar mixture. You want to mix it for at least 5 and some say even 10 minutes to as light, pale, and fluffy, because that's going to add to your cake being also fluffy and not so heavy, so rich, and so dense. So we're going to let this mix for about 5 minutes. And while this is mixing, I'm going to start on the strawberries and making a strawberry puree for our cake. So while our butter and sugar is still mixing, I have some freshly washed and rinsed strawberries. I'm going to just cut them into my bowl. And then I'm going to mash them up with my little hand emulsion blender into a nice smooth puree, which can go into the cake batter easier, add tremendous flavor, and bake evenly and give it that nice pretty pink color and strawberry, most importantly, that strawberry flavor. It won't even be a strong red color, pink color. It'll be kind of subtle, but what we're going for is the strawberry flavor. So let me get this is a little emulsion blender. And so I'm just going to go ahead and plug that in. And you still hear the butter and sugar mixing and mixing. And so I just take my hand mixer, move this out the way so that you can see it. And it takes a minute. Gotta get it in there, a little messy. Okay. I'm I'm going to keep working on this as I get an apron on. And then we're going to have a puree. Okay, I want you to see how it's supposed to look and turn out. So as I keep doing this, it's basically pulverizing the strawberry. And this is how you get a puree. It can be used in smoothies. It can be used in jams, jellies, cakes, pies, lemonade, strawberry lemonade. Hello, fresh strawberries. So you see how that's nicely mixed in there? So those whole cut of strawberries now have turned into strawberry juice. So this is what we'll use in our cake. So now let's go back and check our butter sugar combination. See how it's looking. Okay. I see that pale. I see that fluff. I see it. Turn it up just a little bit. And oh, yes, it's ready. So following this mixture, we're going to add in 4 eggs, one at a time. So I'm going to bring this down to a little low and add in my eggs. Now when I'm adding eggs, I like to crack them in a separate bowl to make sure that there are no eggshells and they're just nice and clean and clear. So I crack my egg into a bowl and then I'll add that to the butter sugar mixture. That's one. Then we have our second egg. And see, one at a time lets it incorporate and mix in. And they're all coming together and joining up as family. Here's number 3. And then we add a 4th egg. Come on, they're waiting for you. Alright, and here goes number 4. So, we want that all to mix in very well. And while that's mixing, I do like to stop the mixer. Press pause for a second. Straighten up my area. But one thing you always have to do with is you have to wipe down your sides. Because even though it looks like it's mixing everything, and generally it is, let's say 95%, there's still some stuff on the side that don't get touched. And we want to make sure they get touched. So we wipe down our sides. And then we let it go for a few more seconds. While we're doing that, we're going to get ready to add about a teaspoon of vanilla. For me, vanilla in any dessert is a must-have. It just gives it that extra pop of flavor. So we added maybe about a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, I'm going to stop the mixer and go to our dry ingredients. One ingredient I made that's very important to this cake, that is strawberry jello. So here we have our flour, and it's 2 3/4 cup of flour. Always adding a little bit of salt. Salt just enhances the flavor of even desserts. Not a lot, just a little. So to our flour, we're going to add in 2½ teaspoons of baking powder. And baking powder always gives a cake that extra lift. So there's your 2. And there's your 1/2. We're going to stir that in. And we also are going to stir in our box of strawberry jello mix. Very standard, very basic. We'll call that a little surprise. So I'm going to mix the strawberry jello into our flour. Oh, look, you guys, we are almost done. Set that to the side. Mixing, mixing, mixing. Oh, that's pretty. A little pink and white, strawberry and cream looking color. And we are almost to the end, everybody. What we're going to do is we're going to do an alternate flour. We have a cup of milk. We're going to mix the flour and the milk into our sugar, butter, and egg mixture. And we're going to alternate, starting with the dry, ending with the dry. Okay. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and turn it on low and add your flour mixture. Your dry, so it's like a third of that. Then we want to get some milk in there. I would say half your milk. Mix, mix, mix. Look at that pretty color. Look at that strawberry cake coming together. It's a really easy recipe. We're going to add some more flour. The rest of our milk. We need to get this thing moving. Shaking and baking. Then the rest of our flour. Mix, 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 mix. Mix, mix. Say it with me. Mix, 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 mix. Now here's the thing. We made enough strawberry puree, but we only really need a half a cup. So we made a little more. We made about a cup, but we wanted to make sure. Oh, look at that pretty. Oh, look at that pretty batter. Ah. Oh, the freshness of the strawberries. Oh, and you know, I'm going to just give it a little bit more just for good measure. But I'm going to stop it. Why? Because I don't want to overmix it and break. It's called breaking the batter. So I'm going to mix the rest by hand. Wipe that off. Put it to the side. And I'm going to take my good old spatula, my faithful baking spatula that we used from the beginning to put the butter in. And then we're just going to kind of fold it. You see how the little step at the bottom the mixer didn't get? We're folding the batter. And actually, it turned a beautiful pink color. So, you know what, guys? This can also be a perfect cake, cupcakes, 2-layer cake, however you like to make it for Valentine's Day. Always looking for a wonderful Valentine's tree for your children, for your honey boo. Make them a strawberry cake. It definitely fits in with the color scheme. Ah, there you have it. There you have it. Please. Ah, look at that yummy strawberry goodness. Okay, that's just one part. It's going from the mixer next to the pan. Okay, I have to take a moment, straighten up my working area. I don't like it when it gets a little bit out of order, out of hand. I'm going to take my bundt pan right here. I'm just adding a little baking spray. You can do the traditional, butter it with soft butter, and then put flour in it and shake the excess flour out. That's your traditional way, but I'm going to cheat for lack of, to save on some time. Spray it real good because we want that baby to come out nice and pretty. So I just sprayed my bundt pan down. I'm going to take my wonderful strawberry cake batter, and it's going in. It's going, girl, you going in. Let's go, let's go. And oh my goodness, one thing I forgot to mention, that if we just had smell TV, taste TV, where you can just sample or you could just smell through the TV, it smells great. And I even had to go ahead and make sure the batter was all right and ready, wasn't missing anything. And I think it's just right on time. All right, look at this. Look at pretty, pretty, pretty. From these, came this. It's going in the oven at 350 for about 30. I'll start checking at 30, but between 30 and 45 minutes. I know that is very broad, but I'm gonna start checking it at 30. If you were doing it in layer pans, it probably would be about 20 to 25 because the layers would be thinner. But since this is a big old bundt cake, it may take a whole 45. All right, it's going over to our friend, the oven. So we'll see it when it comes out. I'll be sure to show you guys how she's looking. Okay, you guys, the cake is finally out the oven, and this is one step to our finished product. Our finished dessert. You see that nice pink strawberry color? Looks just like a strawberry cake. So after this, we're gonna take it out, ice it up, and now it's time to make the icing, which is basically gonna be like a drizzle. Since this is a bundt cake, I'm gonna go ahead and make more like a loose drizzle to go over the cake instead of a thick, heavy buttercream icing. So what I went ahead and did was put about 2 tablespoons of cream cheese and 2 tablespoons of butter into my bowl, and I did get the handy dandy mixer and just blend it a little bit. Then we're gonna go ahead and add roughly a cup, maybe cup and a half of powdered sugar. That's your basis of any frosting, any glaze. You want to have your powdered sugar, which is also AKA confection sugar. So let me start mixing. It's going to be thick at first. And now it's a couple little beady beads because it's so thick, and this is when you start to add your liquid. And so guess what? I found a good use for that puree that we had left, that strawberry puree. So we're gonna double up that strawberry flavor and place some into the icing. I'm gonna say that's about 2 to 3 tablespoons that I had left. So why not use it? Go ahead and put about a teaspoon of vanilla. Remember, vanilla makes any dessert a tad bit better. And I also have some milk. So the milk is to help make it a looser consistency if I still see it being too. And see what you see happening is the moisture from the strawberry puree, excuse me, if I'm not saying it right, but the moisture from the strawberries has already helped to cream together the butter, the sugar, and the confection sugar, powdered sugar. Put a splash of milk in there, about a tablespoon. Now I love the look of this glaze. I love the color and I love the smell. It just smells like strawberries upon strawberries. I'm going to add a little bit more powdered sugar just because I need a good amount to go over this cake. So let's go ahead and say 2 cups of powdered sugar in all. You see, the more powdered sugar, the thicker it's getting. That helps to thicken it back up, which is completely fine. It's still at, oh, that is a great consistency. So that's going to drizzle on the cake perfectly. Let me just mix it a little bit more. And there you have it. You have your strawberry glaze, your strawberry icing, whatever you like to refer to it as. And we're going to drizzle that on our strawberry cake. It's just getting more and more exciting, closer to the point to which we can cut, eat, and taste. Now, one of the cardinal rules to baking a cake is to let it cool before taking it out the pan, the baking dish. Let it cool, you guys. Let it cool 30 minutes to an hour. Let it cool. But did I follow that? No. I was kind of in a rush and I took it out in like 10 minutes. And that cake was like, still very moist. So it did a little sticking, but it looks pretty. It smells good. It's super moist. So that's why we have our handy dandy icing to go ahead and make her pretty. Now I did a little hack. I took the icing, I placed it into a Ziploc sandwich bag, cut a little tip, cut at the tip, a little slot, so that I could just drizzle it. Just a little bit easier. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You could just simply use a little spoon or spatula. So this is how we're going to decorate this baby. Give her some extra ooey gooey love. It looks like I probably made just enough icing. Come on, work with me. And guess what, you guys, with that extra batter that I had, I was able to make some cupcakes. Made about a half a dozen actually. So more than I even anticipated. Because like I said, my girls love a cupcake. And so they'll be happy about those. But the main attraction, come on y'all, you see it? The main attraction is Miss Little Strawberry Cake. Now don't get this mixed up with a strawberry shortcake. No, that's a wee bit different. I love strawberry shortcakes for the fresh strawberries and the whipped cream. But this here today is a full strawberry cake. We use fresh ingredients, nothing but the best. And just like that, she is complete. And what's so funny is we have like a little strawberry little fountain in the middle. But people love to cut the slice and then go ahead, spoon that over their slice of cake. Oh man, it only gets better. There we go. Little Miss Strawberry Cake that we're going to eat in the fall. Even though it's summer, it's a summer type dessert. We're going to go ahead and enjoy this on this wonderful fall day. I hope you guys enjoyed watching or making this strawberry cake with me today. Let me know how it turned out, what you thought. And keep watching. There she is. There's our strawberry cake. I think I may have moved it out the frame on the last shot. But there she is. There is that well of strawberry glaze, strawberry icing. Just going ahead and just making it even better. All this richness and all this goodness. Make sure you wash it down with a glass of milk or a big old cup of water. Thanks for cooking with me. I'll see you next time on Let's Get Cooking. Take care.